Hi, I'm Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Steven Jondrew, and we're from Better Podcasting, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of the individual host.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 552 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Yes, your wacky weekend morning show is now during the week for a little bit, so thank you for joining us as we do ATGN After Dark, recording this Thursday evening, February 22nd. 2024. My name is Chris. I am joined by the usual band of misfits. We'll start first, Mr. Willie D. Nelson.
Am I supposed to do anything different after dark?
Preferably keep your clothes on.
No, I mean different than the morning.
No.
Okay, then I'm good then. I'll just be over here.
Excellent. And then also joining us, Mr. Anthony Bachman.
I am 3/4 of Ultramite.
That's a lot of Viltrumite.
It is. They got strong
How are
DNA.
you 3/4?
None of your business.
It's an experiment that went wrong. I guess.
Mind
I have no
your
idea.
business.
Right.
I mean, depending on what you're going for, either is true, I suppose.
I'm just
work either way.
curious.
Well, you know what they say about curiosity.
You know how the curiosity just cascaded?
That's exactly what they say about it. The curiosity just cascades.
Nobody says that. That's
That's what
keeps
everyone
going.
says.
what? No,
It goes forever, man.
Yeah.
I've never heard this. I don't
2
know
out of
that
3
any-
people have just said it here.
2 out of 3 doctors agree.
Let's not look into my doctorate, please.
No.
It's doctor in comedy.
Clown college? You put me in clown college for this joke?
Hey, it worked for Steve-O.
Did
What, you think you're better than Steve-O?
Yeah. Steve-O went to clown college.
I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure my bones are more brittle than Steve-O's. I think everyone's bones are more brittle than Steve-O's. He's got like indestructible thing from like Unbreakable.
I have no idea how, with the crazy shit that Steve-O has done in his life and all of the drugs he pumped in his body for so many years, that the man is still in such good health, seemingly. It's
He-
crazy.
Things that have been up
damn
that
it.
man's ass.
Well, I mean, there's that too, but it's crazy. Like, some people are just genetic freaks, and I guess we can go down to Scott Steiner path if we need to also do some Steiner math.
I don't want to do any algebra right now. My brain already hurts.
Steiner math is no algebra. You're fine there.
I'm telling you, he's
You're-
Gumby, damn it. He's made out of Play-Doh. Steve-O
Steve-O
is
or
not made out
Scott Steiner?
both. But no, Steve-O is not made out of human parts. Like that, yeah, that dude's like made out of Play-Doh or something, because there's no way you could do what he did to himself and still just be walking around like a normal person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised that most of the cast of Jackass is in as reasonably decent physical condition as they seem to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with what they put, and the fact, honestly, it's very sad that the one did die in a car accident, but like, I'm really surprised that we made it this far and only one of the Jackass crew members has died. I remember watching that first season live on MTV. I was like, these kids are all going to be dead by 26. Like, it
Well,
looked like
at
they were
least
all
I'm-
going to kill themselves. Like,
I'm
they're
surprised.
all just going to
half
get
of
drunk
them-
and jump off a building. Like, they're going to do something crazy.
I'm surprised half of them weren't in a wheelchair from stunts, just from the show /
Right.
movies in general, just from
And
those.
here-
Not from
here's-
outside life, but yeah.
Here's the scary thing. That last Jackass movie, those guys are like in their 40s and 50s and still doing that stuff. Not as much of it now, because you don't bounce back as much in your 40s and 50s. But that's
Well, yeah,
crazy.
I think Knoxville said after that last bull trick, it's like, yeah, he can't do anything now that could give him a concussion, because he might just like the next hit could give him like permanent brain damage. He's
I mean,
he's that one step away from CTE right now.
I thought that after he boxed Butterbean.
That was a good one.
That concrete didn't know what was coming at it.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, say what
head.
you want. Knoxville's got some pretty decent comedic timing when he's that heavily concussed, and the first thing he can say is Butterbean all right? After
Yeah.
Butterbean beats the shit out of him. Pretty funny.
It was good. Is he all right?
Yeah.
Did I hurt his knuckles?
Granted, I know if you're part of the younger generation that might be listening to our show, you're probably like, Jackass, what the hell are you guys talking about? Yes, we have severely dated ourselves by referencing something from a movie that came out 20 years ago, I think, at this point in time. What was Jackass 2? Like 2004, 2003?
Yeah, I know they've had at least one 20th anniversary for one of the films, so I don't know which one, but I think it was the first one. Yeah, it's been around a while.
The only jackasses I see I'm looking at.
Well, turn off your camera and you won't see him anymore.
If I turn off my camera, I'm going to look at one less asshole. I'll still see
I'm
you two.
I'm just wondering who's in his living room.
His cat.
Yeah,
My cat is an asshole.
The original Jackass show was 2000 to 2007.
I believe the show.
Yeah, the original
7
show.
seasons?
So the show started. Yeah, it went 7 seasons or 7 years.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
First movie was 2002.
Yeah,
I remember
Yeah.
how I was being told as a child that Jackass was ruining America, that kids were going to do so much stupid stuff. Needless to say, the Tide Pod Challenge didn't come until 20 years after Jackass, so I don't think you can blame them for that one.
And none of
it
those
was
idiots
South
were
Park right
eating
before
detergent.
Yeah. They don't get deterred with the detergent. Jesus.
I'll give you credit for trying on that one.
Yeah,
That's fair.
It was, at least it was a swing. You know,
I'm proud of it.
you miss all the balls you don't swing at. So
Proud of it.
I'm happy to hear that.
all right.
Happy to hear it. You know what else I'm happy to hear? But it's
The
time.
news of the week.
Oh, damn it. Both of you guys got me. I mean, I am
Change
glad.
it.
I am
roll-
glad. No.
Oh, roll that beautiful Butterbean footage.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
Welcome to the news of the week. This is that part of the show we run down what's in our minds some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past week or so, and share with you fine folks who are watching live or listening/watching at a later date. We got a bunch of stuff here. Let's start just looking at the show notes here so that we don't go too many similar topics in a row. We got 2 gaming related news stories, so I'll go first with my gaming story. We'll end with Bachman's gaming story, and Willie can be the meat in our news sandwich. How's that sound, Willie?
Sure.
I said news sandwich, not nude, by the way. just to clarify.
No. I think we're both going to be surprised, but go on.
Oh God.
Oh no, I think they're all like, never mind. I see what you mean.
I was like, wait a second. Wait, me in the middle. Wait. Okay.
No, F it. We're gonna do it live. We'll just keep going. Let me go start with my news story. I don't know if you guys remember, like 2 console generations ago, we used to have an NCAA football game that you were able to play if you were a fan of collegiate football. Do you guys remember what was the last time that came out? 2012 or 2014 was the last NCAA football game?
I
do
do
believe
remember
2014.
because we took, I want to say NCAA 2000 on Westpac with us. So when on my ship, I had I put up a cabinet that had a 13-inch TV and a PlayStation in it, and we played a tournament of NCAA football, like all the way halfway across the world and back, because you're stuck on a boat for weeks at a time and you ain't got nothing to do in the evening. So we played a hell of a lot of college football.
I like it.
Yeah,
Well,
that
go
game
on,
was
Chris.
fun.
Why do I bring that up? Well, That's because I don't know if you had heard, but we had gotten some rumblings that then got confirmed last year that EA Sports was planning to bring back college football, the game. And a lot of us went, well, how's this going to happen? Because for those unaware, part of the reason they stopped making it was because they got sued for using players' name, image, and likeness, and the players not getting a cut of it. And while when you started up the game, you'd pull up your university's roster and the players' names would be like QB is the first name and 7 as their last name. It was very easy for people to create accounts. There was a specific one, it was called EA Rosters.com. I remember that one from back in the day. They would then go and make the rosters with the real names and likenesses of all the college players. And for a while there, you could download anyone's roster that they shared via EA servers. So everyone would go to EA Rosters.com's account and pull down the roster of their preferred college so that they were effectively playing with the people they saw in real life on the field every Saturday. Now, a lot of this went away, but like I said, because of name, image, likeness concerns, players sued. EA realized, oh, wait, we can't keep making this because we'll just keep getting sued for name, image, likeness. And then we entered the dark ages of no college football games. Depending on your view on sports games. I know not everyone likes sports games, but let's just assume in this case, you're like me, who really enjoyed the NCAA football game far more than the Madden game. So we were all kind of bummed. And last year we started getting some rumblings that EA is going to bring back college football because the advent of name, image, likeness deals in college football where players can get paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness for a variety of different topics. The college football game would be coming back. And yes, it is. We found that out officially. Last week we kind of got our first taste of what college football 2024, EA Sports College Football 25 would look like. That's the full title. We don't have Madden as the spokesperson for it like we do for pro football. But we got some news just this week from EA Sports Vice President of Business Development, Sean O'Brien, in regards to how they're able to do this and what the players' taste of the pie is. Because remember, the game went away because the players were not getting a taste. So,
and if I remember correctly, those NCAA assholes won't let us get jobs.
Yeah, well, the NCAA has kind of been nerfed in a lot of that stuff now. But every athlete will have the opportunity to opt in to college football 25. If you do not opt in, your person will be represented in game as a generic person with a similar naming convention of the past. So first name QB, last name 7, if your quarterback doesn't sign up. They are making it now that you cannot download custom rosters. And supposedly from what I had read here, you also can't then modify that player's name locally so that it is the real player's name in real life. So if these folks opt in, if you play college football and you play for one of the 134 FBS teams out there that are included in the game, you have to opt in to EA Sports Name, Image, Likeness Collective. If you do so, you'll receive $600 and a free copy of EA College Football 25. That's your payment.
That's it?
Well, when
$600 total.
Well, the game's valued at $60 to $70, so $670.
Yeah, they're going to sell more than a couple hundred copies of that damn game.
Another thing to consider, though, 134 teams, they're going to put the full rosters on there, so we're talking 50 to 70 people being represented.
Mm-hmm.
So can you not make a create a player for like a create a team or anything like that then? If you can't even change the players' names.
You could back then. I wonder if they'll block
now?
it where you just can't make it into that person's name.
So my understanding from what I had read is that you'll be blocked from changing things so that WVU, for instance, say quarterback Garrett Green opted out and didn't want to do it. So you'd load it up and be quarterback and his number would be his name. It will not allow you to change his name to Garrett Green, is my understanding. Now you could change it to Barrett Brown or something like that. Who brought that up? Don't put the spammers up there.
I didn't mean to click on it. I meant to find out where it was coming from, not put it up on the show.
No spammers on the show.
Damn it. I was trying to get rid of it.
I think it's coming from a linked Twitch channel. So
yeah, because it's not showing up on the main one.
I mean, if someone wants to make a creative character of me and I don't want to, they can still do it in a game that has a creative character and I can't stop them. I'm not going to sue them for it. What?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know what protections are in there to keep me from making, say, the Willie's fighting football players custom team, and then making a Willie Nelson character, a stealing from West Virginia University. Garrett Green is my quarterback there that looks just like him, has his name, things like that. I don't know if that's something they're blocking, if they're even allowing you to make custom universities like they used to in the old game. I imagine we'll find out more, but they have also worked with universities to license a lot of fight songs, crowd noise from the stadiums, things like that. And they have said that the FCS schools, that's what used to be called Division I AA football, will not be present at launch, but potentially could get patched in later so that those players can get a piece of the pie. Now, this is optional for players to opt in, and if they don't, they're not represented in the game. I think it's a step forward that they put this game out and the players get a piece of the pie. Do I think it's necessarily a large piece of the pie? Not really, but at the same time, if I put myself back in the spot of me when I was 18 to 22 years old, if someone told me I could be in a video game, I'd be pretty happy to be in a video game, and getting paid $600 and getting a free copy of a game, I'd probably do it.
If you're already on a college team that is that big, would you want to take that?
Willie, there's 134 schools that are represented in this game. So that's everything from your most recent national champions to a team in Division 1A football that won no games.
Okay, just saying.
Either way, they're making money off of the students. Like, the students should get a cut. I think it's a start.
I mean, bear in mind, a lot of these students are also getting other name, image, likeness deals through the universities too.
Good. They should. All the schools are making money off of them too. Selling ads on college football TV.
Yeah, don't disagree.
Yeah.
It seems like a low number, but I guess once you start doing the math, I don't know. Let's do some back of the
if you do 137 colleges, say at max, usually you got 80 people on a roster.
Sure, let's go with that.
So if you do like max, like if you got coaches and stuff too, right?
Coaches aren't getting paid out of this.
Coaches aren't? Okay.
Coaches will not be represented in the game.
So just players, so it should max out at 80. I don't think any college has a roster of over 80 players. But I think you do 80 players in 130 schools times $600.
There's 132 schools. I used 60 players. We're talking, that's a lot of 69s. $6.9 million just in name, image, likeness.
Yeah.
If on that back of the table math of saying roughly 60, 70 players per school, each getting $660, the 132 schools, it's not an insignificant amount of money. Now, let's be honest, this is the first time an NCAA football game will have come out in over a decade, so it's going to make bank.
Yeah, it's going to make a ton. And yeah, they're going to, I don't know, what did the last one sell? Do we have those numbers? Do we know how many copies of the last idea. NCAA college football game, how many it sold?
No idea. I know it goes for crazy numbers on the secondary market right now until this new game comes out.
I mean, I'm sure the last time I saw that, G4 was still a channel.
I mean, you're not wrong. The first version of G4.
Oh yeah. I mean, do we count that as? Sure, I guess we could.
I'm trying to find that info, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, NCAA football 14 came out in July 2013. Let's see. A bunch of questions and stuff about me. I'm not seeing like number of copies sold.
Yeah, I don't know the right place to track that down, but NCAA football games were an institution at that point in time. They were not selling near as much as Madden, obviously, but they were selling a lot. And I remember back at that time, you could export your draft class from NCAA football to then be imported into Madden. So say you won the Heisman Trophy with quarterback Willie Nelson that you had on your team, you could then export that to that year's Madden, and you could then draft Willie Nelson to your favorite NFL team.
Now, is Madden going to pay those players $600 as well?
I doubt they're going to do that connection to Madden now, if I was going to be honest.
Yeah. So you're looking at, so per Google's 1.5 million copies roughly of NCAA's last college football game were sold in the 5 years after its release in 2013. So from 2013 to 2018, it sold 1.5 million copies. So yeah, if we do what, 60 and 30, so it'd be 90 million if they all paid cover price, which we know didn't happen, but for rough math. If they made 90 million on it and out the gate, they're expecting to spend 6 million to pay the
6.9, so about 7.
Yeah. The chances are it's going to make more than the last one did. So
let's just for the purpose
cut.
For the purposes of debate, let's call it 10%. 10% of the money they made off of that goes to the players is what we're looking at. Just for rough back of napkin math. Please, no one write to us criticizing our math. I know it's not right, but for debate purposes, it's close enough.
I might still.
Well, feel free. Send your hate mail to js@gonnageek.com. That's where all hate mail goes.
I'm going to write that down.
But 10% works. And if that's roughly what they're paying from the start, it should actually also stay at 10%. It should be like if 10% of games sold,
but that's
where
not,
it would be over 600. Those kids should each get another check. Is what
that's just a coincidence that we're calling it that value, though. They set a value of $600 because of whatever their budgetary minions or monsters said in the background. That was the right way to hit specific profit points.
They had to find a random dollar amount, whatever. But so if we just say randomly, if we pick 10% and we say that what they're looking at their goal amount of what they think they're going to sell this game in units, they're going to make X dollar amounts, and 10% of that should go to the students. If that 10% equals $600, and then all of a sudden they sell, 200 million copies of that damn game, each one of those kids should still be getting 10%. I'm saying it should go up. They should get dividends. They should get Hollywood freaking residuals. Yeah.
I'm curious when it comes down to for how the costs all break down to this, like the development costs, the NIL costs for signing players up, the costs for licensing university logos and getting the fields and the fight songs. How much is that costing? And then how many copies
of making that game?
No, and that's what I'm saying. How many copies of the game do they then have to sell with all of those costs in mind for it to be a success?
Yeah,
that's the question I would want to know. And there are probably smarter people out there that handle video game journalism that will probably start tackling that as we get closer to the game come out. It doesn't come out until I think the next major updates this summer, and maybe it comes out around then. I can't remember. So we're still a ways off from the game coming out. We're just kind of getting our teasers of it, but more importantly, figuring out how the players are getting their piece of the pie for the college football game when it comes out. And then the real question is, remember back in the day, there used to be college basketball games and stuff like that. Will they bring those back? Because could that be profitable enough for them to make money once they factor in licensing and NIL costs? Now, granted, you have smaller rosters for collegiate basketball, but I would assume that the collegiate basketball game sold on a much different level than the college football game.
Yeah.
Just if I had to guess.
It seems like the NCAA football game would be a good test market for EA to say, hey, will we still make money off this if we have to pay all the students? And then, we, might see it yearly again, or we never see another NCAA game from EA ever, depending on how much money they actually make on this one.
So, see, my gut reaction when I saw the $600 at first was like, man, that's kind of low. But I didn't consider the scale that we're talking about with how many players there are on every team, how many schools there are represented in there.
Yeah, the problem is the number of schools, ones that some people have never heard of, but they are colleges and they do technically have football teams. So they're in the game.
and so I'll bring up this point as we start wrapping up. That $600 college football game NIL deal for a player from Alabama might not mean much, but it might mean from Montana State, whatever. Holy crap, I don't have any NLI deal. I'm getting $600 for being in a video game, and then I can play as myself on TV. So
I'm more curious of what's the finer print on that, though, if we're getting into that.
What do you mean?
There's got to be other stuff in there.
We won't ever see those contracts.
Like maybe they slip something in about you can't have your likeness in something else at the same time. Just, they like to slip things in there. You know how they do.
We
That's
own your
true.
likeness and perpetuity in all forms of media.
So my understanding is the name, image, likeness stuff is a pain in the ass. I don't understand it. There's also every school has their own different collective for handling it. My understanding is for this game specifically, there was a name, image, likeness group that was being assembled just to handle rights for this game, where you have to sign on with this group to then be included in the game. And I'm sure, like Willie said, there is some kind of contract that is signed between all parties. And I guess here's where our scale that we're talking about comes into play is, while not everyone may care to have a lawyer look it over, I'm sure there's someone in there who's going to have a lawyer look at it, or who has a parent who is a lawyer who's going to look at it and would potentially float any concerns out there.
Yeah,
to the
Harvard's
public.
got a football team. There's going to be lawyers looking at this contract.
I wasn't sure if Harvard was one of the FBS schools or not, though, but
I don't know.
I see your point.
I'm sure they have a football team. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you got to figure, even if you just look at just the really big schools, where like you have a lot of kids that come from fairly well-to-do families that end up playing like at Florida State or Notre Dame. Like their parents are going to have that contract be looked over by a lawyer to make sure that that kid who they want to be like a state senator or something in the future isn't signing away something. So yeah, someone's going to be taking a good look at these contracts.
But because of the nature of college sports, I don't blame anyone that thinks it would be predatory towards lesser advantaged college athletes who might be coming from less educated backgrounds and are getting their education through this, or who are of lesser means and can't afford to have lawyers review these things. Because hey, college sports has always been predatory towards the poor.
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
They make all their money off of people that aren't getting paid.
I mean, but that's the good thing with the name, image, likeness stuff that started up, is that people are getting paid to do things, but the trade-off is it's the Wild West, and it's basically just become donate money so that we can get good players, not build up facilities and things like that. And it's turned into an arms race in that regard, and has probably changed the way college football works, so that you're not going to see anyone outside the major schools really bubble up and win a national championship anymore, because they're the ones that can afford to go and get the best players.
No.
I think there needs to be some kind of refining of the model, so it's not basically just free agency for college sports. I think the players deserve their cut, but I don't think it should be, well, I'm going to open up my recruitment to whoever pays me the most, because not all schools can operate at that same level.
Yeah, but I mean, you're always going to have the Yankees. Like, they just exist. Like,
I mean, but here's the thing: for a lot of these places, and this is the argument I always get thrown around, is that, oh, we should just get rid of sports in college because it's a drain on colleges. They don't make money off of it. The sports they make money off of in college athletics: football and men's basketball. Those are the two big ones they make money off of. And if, due to name, image, likeness, free agency, for lack of a better term, you can't afford to bring in good players and no one wants to come to your football games, that takes something that was bringing in money to potentially break even or loss of money. And then that has a trickle down effect towards all of the other programs in there, because the thing people don't realize is the sports that make the money help them to be able to do the sports that don't make money. Because, hey, as much as I might enjoy the men's soccer program, I doubt that's bringing in the ticket sales and the money that the football program is. So you offset your potential loss when you include things like travel costs and stuff like that by the money in the television contracts associated with football and basketball.
What about the diving team? I much prefer the diving team.
I mean, probably the same case there, but we're also getting into a world now where some of this stuff gets streamed online, and I guess there's potential there for licensing to whoever gets to streaming rights to that. Because, for instance, I'm a West Virginia University football/sports fan, and they license pretty much all of their athletics to ESPN Plus, basically. So, for instance, last weekend when we went to the Beauty and the Beast event, which was wrestling and gymnastics at the same time, not competing against each other, but they had.
I was thinking that was going to be a really cool show.
No, but they had like
the wrestling teams fighting the gymnastics team while telling the story.
Wouldn't that be
of Beauty and
cool?
the Beast. I want to see that.
No, but the way they did it is they had one of the wrestling mats down for a meet that was going on there, and they had all of the different events set up for gymnastics that were all going on at the same time. So you got to watch wrestling and gymnastics at the same time, and it was pretty fun. But I saw while we were there that I was like, man, there's a lot of cameras here for this. And I wouldn't normally expect that. And I found out after the fact, it was one of the programs, for lack of a better term, that they had sold as part of the media rights. And it was streaming on ESPN Plus. So people who couldn't come to the game or didn't live close enough to come to the meet could just go on ESPN Plus and watch it then. So the world's opened up in that regard, which is potentially good for these programs, but not necessarily great for the consumers, because we all know it's problematic that there's like 10,000 different streaming apps out there, and we're always juggling which ones we want to have turned on or off.
Well, at some point, someone's just going to be smart and bundle them all together and charge you a lower price, right?
It's called cable.
Yeah, that's
although what was we got the rumor of this week? The Paramount Plus and Peacock we're talking about merging potentially.
Well, I mean, the ad I saw earlier was a mix of it was Hulu, Paramount. Like on Hulu, you can get Paramount Plus and Showtime as a bundled deal now. So you're using a Disney subsidiary streamer, Hulu, to now get Showtime and Paramount bundled into your Hulu. They're trying to do it. They're trying to do it. At some point, either Disney or Amazon's going to be like, you can buy all 4 of these streaming services at a 25% discount if you get them all. Well, and it's going to be $60 a month, just like cable was when it started.
To spin it back to sports, there's talk between Warner Discovery, Fox, ESPN, and other major sports network rights holders to basically create their own app that is a bundle of all of those sports that you would pay for on top of being a subscriber to one of those. So, for instance, say I subscribe to ESPN Plus, I could then choose to also subscribe to whatever they call this sports bundle for an extra $50 a month that would give me sports from all of the other channels all in one app. Now, I don't know how they're going to negotiate all of those rights or anything like that, but
it's going to be called Sports Plus.
I mean, or
ESPN Ocho.
Just call it the sports app or something like that. But everyone's going to want to brand it in some way and make sure their logos are on there.
The every damn streamer out there plus sports app.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be a nightmare. But that's my news. College football games coming back. Players getting a piece of the pie. At first glance, I'm not sure it's enough of the pie, but at second glance, I don't know. I guess it really depends on sales.
At least it's something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no financial expert.
But what are you an expert in, Willie?
Nothing.
I was trying to toss it to you for your news.
Nope.
You think I'm an expert on this?
Dikembe
I barely
Mutombo,
got a handle
not in my
on it.
house.
Not in my house.
I'll try. I'll throw it out there, and you tell me if I'm the expert or not. I guess.
All right. Let me rephrase. You're the closest we have to an expert on the show. How about that?
I don't even know if that's true, but I mean, we'll get through it. We'll
just
figure it out together.
Let me look. What's his news? I'm not even sure.
So a trailer for a game came out. A game that was announced a bit ago, and it's just been enough time for me to wonder, they announced that game a while back, and I've heard nothing of it since. What's going on? And then trailer time. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the video game.
So, full disclosure, I thought it was a movie because I didn't.
Well, it was a movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where my confusion came from.
1988. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris. I should have wrote the video game behind it.
No, the Vidya game. It's got to be Vidya game.
I said what I said. I refuse to be corrected.
Oh, well.
Refuse.
Okay. Not like anyone listens to me anyways.
Yeah, so the trailer came out and it showed some more gameplay. Not technically showing off what you're going to be doing in the actual game, but it just showed off some the style, what it looks like. And the styling definitely looks more clown than killer, if I do say. It looks more jokey than the a little bit more horror, just a little bit more horror in the original movie, but it looks a little bit more comical, as you were, which is not so much a negative. And they do show off what looks to be kind of like killer moves, or I guess in Dead by Daylight it would be Maury's, something that would kill the survivors in this was it a asymmetrical multiplayer game, whereas 3-on-7 in the Killer Klowns game. But it looks like it has something where it kills the survivors in comical ways, like the whole "what are you gonna do? Knock my block off?" Surprise! They do knock their block off. But not a whole lot of what you do in the game. But they do say that you can start to pre-order February 21st, which was yesterday. And the game comes out June. I had this up, and now it's not here. I had it up June 5th. I want to say
June 4th is what it says on Steam.
June 4th. I had it up, and then I moved it around to find out something else, and then I lost it again.
Steam shows it pre-purchase $39.99 or the deluxe edition for $59.99.
But yeah, the trailer hasn't really shown off a lot of more of the gameplay than what I've already seen. But I mean, I've always been interested in it. It's Killer Klowns from Outer Space. The Vidja game.
Thank you.
Vidja game.
Thank you. Is it coming out on multiple platforms?
It looks like it's coming out on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
Okay. That's about what I was expecting.
Switch, I am unsure. I mean, I doubt it, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's got a rating on it.
PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Series S, and Microsoft Windows looks to be the release consoles? Release IPs? No. Platforms. That's the word. Platforms. Just like my shoes.
You wear platform shoes like Disco Stew?
Don't
We're
you?
fishing them.
Can I call you Disco Will?
I'm not going to stop you.
Sweet.
I guess I just keep on giving gifts wherever I go.
There you go. But I mean, Dead by Daylight's on Switch, so I mean, there's a chance Killer Klowns from Outer Space could make it on there as well.
I mean, I'm not going to be angry if they don't. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to be getting this game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is if you were going to be getting it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I to be 100% honest, just between us girls here, I don't think I'm going to stay with the game for all that long, but I'm all here to play it. It's more Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And I'm definitely going to be there. Is it going to be a good game? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out when I get it. I was disappointed in the Friday the 13th game, not going to lie. So hopefully
it was
better.
too.
And it's also made by the same people, Ilphonic. So that's a thing.
So it's like they have a formula.
Yeah, trust me. They take old IPs from the 80s and they make games out of them.
The question is, will we be opening drawers?
Predator.
The Predator one too, huh?
Ghostbusters they did. This one, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I'm sure I'm missing one or two there. But yeah, those were some of them that they've done.
And yet they still haven't made me a Last Starfighter. I mean, come on, it's right there. It's based on a video game.
It's true. We did at least get a good RoboCop game though, just recently. So we got that for 80s.
Did they do
properties.
that too?
I don't think it was them, but I was just saying in general that when it comes to 80s nostalgia properties coming back, by all accounts, what is it, Dark Victory or whatever the RoboCop game is supposed to be pretty good. I almost picked it up when it was on sale. I just realized I have way too much shit to play, so I can just buy it when it's even cheaper down the road.
Yep. I still haven't finished Uncharted 4, so I don't need to be buying any games. Yeah. And I got a new game on my PlayStation 5 that I didn't buy, so I've got something new to play.
They also did Evolve, Ilphonic. I forgot all about that.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah.
Wait, the one with the monster and the 4 people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I loved that one. That one was one of my favorite. That was my first asymmetrical that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I have it on my shelf over there, the PS4 version with the actual the stamp out dust sleeve thing that's actually pressed in, so it's like all textured.
Was it only PS4 or was it PS4 and PS3?
Just PS4. It was not on for PS3.
Just PS4. Okay.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know I still have it. Yeah, I know I still have it. I just wasn't sure which system I got it on. I guess it must have been PS4.
I don't think it could have been on.
I liked Evolve. Evolve was a blast playing the monster going out and eating stuff to get stronger so you could turn and kill everybody. That thing was fun.
Too bad the servers are shut down.
So there's no way to do it now.
I mean, you could plug it in and play with bots.
Mm-hmm.
I might do it.
I mean, bots are never as good, though.
Well, what else am I going to do?
You've never played Dead by Daylight, Chris. Some of the bots are better than the players.
I just don't care for Dead by Daylight. I've played a couple different times. It just never really clicked with me and made me stay playing.
Yeah. Now when people rage quit, you get a bot in their place, and a lot of times the game gets better.
I tried the Friday the 13th game also, and I played like 3 or 4 rounds of it, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm out.
It's a lot of booty. A lot of booty. Hopefully they learned a lot of lessons from all these other games. I even forgot about the Ghostbusters one. That came and went, and it's just...
Yeah, I have some concerns with how quickly all of these asymmetric games come and go anymore.
Yeah, there's been a long list of things that are trying to share in the limelight with Dead by Daylight that are just... They're coming and they're going and they're not staying. They're barely even getting out. They're staying in alpha or beta for so long and just never actually releasing. I don't know what's going on with all that. It's a thing. That's all I know.
Yeah, VHS was a blast. I played like 6 months of the beta on that one, and it was fantastic. And then it came out and nothing. Or the Evil Dead game. Like that one looked awesome.
Yeah.
And it had a huge release.
No,
I don't think that one was Ilphonic though. But I mean, there's been so many asymmetricals that keep trying to like be that competitor, and everything's fallen short so far.
Yeah, it's just the asymmetrical ones never really clicked for me. I always liked like the large 32 man like Battlefield type things, like Star Wars Battlefront games back in the day. Yeah, that was my jam. And side note, did you guys see they're re-releasing Battlefront 1 and 2 with updates?
Oh yeah. I was.
So that's going to the PS5 and the Xbox Series
and Nintendo Switch.
So let me get this straight. Since we can't make a better game, we're just gonna give you the old one again.
Effectively, yes, because the last 2 Battlefront games they did weren't that good. So they're going back to the well for what Battlefront 1 and 2. The original ones came out PS3,
I'm looking forward to
era.
it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and they're updating it so you can play up to 64 people online with it, which I'm excited for.
And in all fairness, Willie, the Grand Theft Auto company's been doing that for how many decades? You like Grand Theft Auto 5? We'll give you more Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well,
like, they
this
only
is a little bit different because they have released other Battlefronts since then.
That sucks.
We can't make you happy with new ones, so have the old ones, which the old ones were good. Why don't you just do that in the first? How about this? Go back and do what they were doing with the third Battlefront. Like, go back and the source code's got to be somewhere, right?
Look, you don't even have to use the source code. Just use the same kind of approach that they were using to the game. But here's the thing, because it's not riddled with microtransactions, they don't want to do it. That's what the problem has been mostly with the most recent 2 Battlefront games. Is sure, they are pretty and there was some fun gameplay, but they sacrificed gameplay and stuff like that to be able to jam it full of loot boxes and battle passes to try and keep people in, because they didn't want just a one-time purchase. They wanted people to be like, oh my God, I got to buy the battle pass this month because I need shiny stormtrooper armor that's slightly red instead of slightly blue that I had before. And I don't know.
Every game wants a battle pass now. If they're not getting monthly payments, it's bad.
Hey Bachman, what was that little fucker that you love in Star Wars?
Oh, Babu Freak?
Yeah. For only $4.99, you can give me Babu Freak in the new Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I might buy that.
I know. There's a sucker born.
If I could shoot somebody in like a giant mech that I built, and I'm running around in a mech that I built as a little tiny Anzellan, and then shoot them and say, "Bad baby, no squeezy," and then run away, I would do it. It would be worth the $4.99.
Fuck it, let's make it $9.99. You already have a guarantee sell.
I'll do it. Anzellans are awesome.
So that wraps up Willie's news and the random tangent that I tacked onto the end. So thank you for allowing me to have that random tangent, Willie. I appreciate it.
I forgot that was a thing too myself.
I didn't follow very actively the Nintendo Direct that happened this week out of nowhere, but that was one of the things that came out of it, was the Battlefront news. That said, we got one last news story left. I'm going to toss things over to Bachman.
This one, we're going from the video game to the trailer for the movie based on the video game. This week, we got the release of the Borderlands official trailer from Lionsgate Movies, starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, a bunch of other big names. We've got Jamie Lee Curtis in there, Florian Montaño, which most people would know as Ivan Drago's kid, and then my favorite playing Tiny Tina is Ariana Greenblatt, who we were talking in the pre-show is possibly like the coolest, baddest little girl in the whole universe because she's young Ahsoka and she's young Gamora from the Avengers films. So yeah, she's been a badass in all sorts of galaxies, and now she gets to blow up motherfuckers in the Borderlands because she's Tiny Tina and it's tea party time, bitches. So yeah, it was one of those weird trailers where I don't know. Was anybody else just surprised by who was in the cast of this movie when you saw the trailer?
I mean, you've already heard me say who, but I'll let Chris say something first.
Willie and I both kind of had the same reaction. Kevin Hart as Roland just didn't click. I was like, Roland can be funny, but he's more of a badass than anything from playing the game. And I was like, I would have gone the route of, say, a Mike Coulter, i.e. Luke Cage, for those of you guys that may not be able to place the name, in the role of Roland instead of Kevin Hart. But I mean, I guess Kevin Hart is done to try and put butts in seats because he's a draw to some folks.
Well, and that's the thing. Am I the only one here who's seen Lifted, the new Kevin Hart action movie that was on Netflix?
Yes. When you describe it that way, there's no way I would have watched it.
So it's literally like an updated, hey, Netflix and Kevin Hart are going to do their version of The Italian Job. We're going to do an updated heist film, except he didn't put himself in the Seth Green comedy role. He put himself in the Mark Wahlberg role. He's the lead. He's the smart. He's the brains. He's the tough guy. And it was hard to watch because I'm like, that's not, you're in the wrong role. Who miscast you in this? Oh, you produced this. You put yourself in that role.
So it's a vanity project.
So the problem is that the Kevin Hart has spent 3 films now hanging out with The Rock. And so he now apparently is convinced that whenever Dwayne Johnson's not around, he's the tough guy. And so Kevin Hart is now playing the tough guy in movies, and it's a hard swallow. He's all foot 4 of comedy. The dude's funny. Apparently, he doesn't want to be funny anymore. He's trying to play the tough guy in films. But I'm going to see this just for Jack Black as Claptrap alone. So Kevin Hart ain't going to ruin it for me. I'm going to see this damn movie.
I mean, I don't think he ruins it. It doesn't click for me. And if you're someone who never played the Borderlands games, you'll probably not even think anything of it. But if you're someone who played the games, specifically someone who mainlined as Roland throughout Borderlands 1, you're kind of like, weird. This is strange to me because like I liked being able to throw a turret out with different support options. Like my favorite was the turret with shields and missile pods because you throw that bitch out and then you just hide behind your shields and snipe people. It's great stuff. I love that game. Naki and I used to play it a ton back on the Xbox and stuff. It's good times. Yeah,
I did a little bit of Borderlands, a whole lot of Borderlands 2. I never played 3, but I played the hell out of 2. I think I played that with Naki and with V. So like, I had a lot of hours in the Borderlands 2. But it looks like they nailed like the cartoony look of it, the almost comic booky look of it. So the visuals look fantastic. Yeah, the only thing that's throwing me off is Kevin Hart, but the rest of that cast is solid. So who knows? Maybe this movie he'll actually come across as a tough guy. I saw Lifted. He tried it there. But
I wasn't able to watch the whole trailer. Is there some part where you hear "Get you rolling"?
Yeah, where's Scooter?
No, I don't think there's any reference to Scooter yet. Yeah, we get.
You're not
That's
catching
all
a
I need
ride?
to hear is that's how the trailer should end. Just before fade to black, just "Get you rolling."
No, it just needs to end with "Catch a ride."
Yeah, catch a ride.
Catch a ride. Now, from the Verge article, they said it was funny though. The first Borderlands movie trailer has a real Guardians vibe to it, and yeah, it's very much what is it? Electric Light Orchestra's "Do Ya" is the song that's played across it, and it very much feels like, I mean, I don't, and this is the other weird thing. It's directed by Eli Roth. So Cabin Fever, Hostel, Thanksgiving, The Green Inferno, and now Borderlands.
This is not doing much to make me feel better about another video game adaptation movie because
It's weird, right? I mean,
they're
the kid-
traditionally
the guy's- he's talented, but he's usually not talented in this field, like in an action comedy. Eli Roth's not the guy I'm going for.
I don't know if I'm
sorry. Are you telling me the Bear Jew it did not make you laugh?
I mean,
Are you telling me that? Knocked
Well-
it right out of the park!
he made me laugh because he was, beating Nazis to death with a baseball bat, and that makes me laugh. But I wouldn't call that comedy.
I think he added a certain panache to it, but that's just me.
I just saw Thanksgiving. I love Eli Roth. Eli Roth is a great director. He knows film. Like, he's one of those like Quentin Tarantino level kids that grew up just in movies, watching movies, loving movies, and wanted to do nothing but make movies. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Hostel, but I've always been a fan of Eli Roth because that's a guy who loves films. Whether or not I like all the ones he makes, he loves movies. And so, I mean, maybe this will be like a big turn for him. Every once in a while you see that, where like you see that, the director that, did these films over here goes and makes these. I mean, when Guillermo del Toro said he was doing Pacific Rim and it was a giant monster versus robot movie, I'm like, wait, the guy from Hellboy? Really? He's doing a sci-fi mech movie? All right. I love Pacific Rim. That movie's fantastic. It's giant robots punching giant monsters. It's great.
Look, I'm just going to express my skepticism, as with most video game adaptations, because trying to take a game with a single player story that is, hell, you could probably mainline through Borderlands in 10 hours, maybe, and knock that down and trim it down appropriately into something that's 2 hours long that still feels like Borderlands, I think is a tough sell. Like, this isn't going to make sense. I think this movie is going to sell better to people who get this, this feels like a Guardians-like movie vibe, versus people who played the game like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this movie, because the people who played the game are going to be the toughest people to win over, I think, in the end, because we're going to be like, well, this was set in a Borderlands world, but that sure as hell didn't feel like insert character X here.
Yeah, I think they're more going, I don't think they're even trying to get the video game audience with this one as much. I think they're literally just going for the general public with the Guardians trailer. Because, it very much feels like the first Guardians trailer. If you've rewatched Guardians 1, and as you met Star-Lord and then rewatched this trailer, it's like, there's if it was cut by the same company, I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, I also need to point out, in all fairness, my impressions are coming from the initial photos that were released like on Monday or Tuesday. I didn't realize there was a trailer out for it, so I haven't watched it yet. Maybe my opinion changes when I watch the trailer. I don't know. I feel like maybe because of my enjoyment of the original source material, the movie then becomes a bit of a tougher sell for me, because I'm not sure how they do it. It's why I'm concerned if they ever do a BioShock movie, is that I'm not sure that adapting that game, which has one of my favorite game stories, they're going to be able to do it right. And that concerns me.
But sadly, I mean, for every Last of Us, we got a Street Fighter. So, sometimes they do it right. Sometimes, whoa.
I mean, at least Raul Julia had fun doing it.
Seemingly. Yeah, he did. For me, it was a Tuesday.
That was his last movie, though.
Yep. It's so weird that amazing actor's last film was a movie where the most gung-ho G.I. Joe blonde guy ever was played by the muscles from Brussels. What?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Chris, you have to take a look at the trailer tonight just to give it a full view, because it is almost a 3-minute trailer. It's a good full size. It's not a teaser. It's a good full size trailer. Jack Black is hilarious as Claptrap. Like, you got Kate Blanchett, you got Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, you have some serious good, high caliber actors in there, and some other people. But like, the visuals of it look solid. Like, I mean, Montanu, freaking Ivan Drago's kid, is one of the madmen, in the mask with the orange prison jumpsuit pants. Yeah, the psychos. And like, he looks straight out of the game. Like, he looks like a perfect representation of what those characters were in the game. So they might get some of the stuff right. Who knows how much they get right, how much they get wrong. Tiny Tina looks funny. That little girl seems to be a great actress. I've seen her in tons of stuff, and I've enjoyed her acting and everything. She was in 65. She's great with Adam Driver, and she doesn't speak English in the entire film. She's speaking a language that he doesn't understand, and she can't understand him. And as an audience member, you can't understand what she's saying. And like, she was an interesting character throughout that film. That's not easy to do when you're a character that can't communicate with the audience at all. So, I mean, at least, you know, it should have a handful of laughs in it. It'll get us that much. I don't know if it's going to be a giant blockbuster, but hell, anyway, if you try to copy Guardians, that's not a bad one to try copying. That movie came out of nowhere and blew people's minds. So,
Trust and gun.
yeah, hopefully they can do it right, and you know, hopefully it's at least hopefully it's more fun than it is Kevin Hart trying to act like a tough guy.
Okay,
I got my fingers crossed.
I keep changing my mind on who my favorite character is and should be in the movie, and I've currently changed my mind again, and it's got to be the best character with the best side mission, Shooty McShootface. The best character in the game who just wants you to shoot him in the face.
In the face.
Yeah,
I mean, he better be. He's got to be in the movie, right?
it'll probably be in there.
Oh,
Or
sure.
that's your
I'm
end
pretty
credit
sure that's the
sequence.
name, right?
That's your
Shooty
end credit
McShootface.
sequence. Shooting McShootface. That's your end credit sequence to give you to come back for Borderlands 2.
It
Oh, I
works.
thought that's when they're gonna release the Butt Stallion or whatever it was, the Diamond Butt Stallion.
It was
or
Butt
whatever.
Stallion.
God. Butt Stallion, yeah.
I mean,
Butt Stallion.
if you get to a second movie, Handsome Jack is such a good character. I'm really curious who they would get to be Handsome Jack.
It doesn't even matter because they're gonna have to 3D print a face, right?
Yeah.
And put it over his face. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. He's used to it. Get fucking Tom Hardy. Let's get his ass up there. He knows about wearing masks.
All right. Well, this should at least make you happy, Willie. On the IMDb, there is an actor listed as playing the character Scooter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say Shooty McShootface.
Yeah,
No, we
Scooter's
gotta-
not his favorite character anymore.
We got a
Yeah, we're
Scooter and
changing it.
we got a Scooter and an Ellie. We do not have anybody named Shooter McShootface.
And actually, I'm changing it again. Butt Stallion's gonna get it now. That's the best character. It keeps changing. It's a rolling tide, my man.
I'll allow it.
That's what I had.
Cool. Before we transition off the news, just real quick, I don't know if you guys noticed, James Gunn shared a photo from the first table read of the Superman movie, which had like the entire cast in it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Ooh, I have not seen that.
Yes, I believe he shared it on Threads, if I recall correctly. So there is a photo out from that, and it appears from the early promotional stuff they've shared that the Superman logo is the Kingdom Come Superman emblem for this movie. So I'm very curious what they're doing. Very curious what they're doing.
Well, especially since I'm trying to remember, were they going younger with this one, but not an origin story, right? Wasn't that
Younger,
what
but
it
not
was?
origin was my understanding.
Yeah.
Trust and gun.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, and freaking what's his face is bald in the photo.
Good
Damn it.
old what's his nuts?
Yeah, fucking witness me, Hank McCoy, the Beast.
Oh,
Why can't I think of every role he's played
Kelsey
except
Grammer.
his name?
Nicholas Holt.
No, Nicholas Holt. There you go.
Kelsey Grammer. He's
Kelsey
back,
Grammer.
baby.
The other Beast.
It's the year of the grammar.
Yeah, that kid is bald as hell in that photo. Awesome. All right.
I was going to say, last time I saw Kelsey Grammer on screen, it was CGI, so he could have been bald and I wouldn't have noticed.
That's true.
What was he CGI in?
I guess we're far enough past spoilers.
Yeah.
Willie, did you ever watch The Marvels?
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
don't worry about it.
So just go check out online what the post-credits scene is, and
Fair enough.
it ties into our merry band of mutants. Let's put it that way.
I kind
Yeah.
of figured.
And side note, Marvel's is on Disney Plus for those who didn't realize it. And it's funny
is?
now that it's on Disney
Yeah.
Plus where people can watch it. There's far less people saying dumb things about it on the internet, but just because it involves three women. There's a lot of people like, I gave it a chance after hearing everyone talk shit, and I really like this movie. It's almost like it's a fun movie. I didn't say it was a great movie, just that it was a fun movie.
No. Yeah. I think maybe next month, yes. We got different streamer going on right now. I've still got Amazon Prime, but I think the next one I have to do for a month is going to be Disney Plus to get so I can watch the Marvels. I'm going to watch all of I haven't seen What If season 2 yet, so I'm looking forward to both of those.
Wait, season 2's already out?
Yeah.
Shit.
Shit, indeed.
I'm behind. What can I say?
That said, we are going
Only
to
so much time.
We're going to start shutting things down, but before we do, we like to wrap things up with a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with our fine folks that are out there watching or listening the geeky and dirty things we get into, because, hey, you hear about what we're doing, you might be interested in getting involved in some of those same things too. I'll kick things off just because my list is fairly short because I've been busy with some real life stuff. But like I mentioned, this weekend went to the Beauty and the Beast event that was WVU gymnastics and wrestling. It was a fun event, pretty packed house. It was their second largest crowd they've ever had for one of those. So that was fun to see. I have been playing some more Skull and Bones. I stand by what I said before that I feel like this is like a $30 or a $40 game, not a $70 game. And I'd derive a lot more enjoyment from it if it was. But for my purposes, it's a game I can play with my dad when they get voice chat working. That's the thing I just realized because we hadn't had a chance to try and link up until recently, is that party chat, voice chat baked into the game still doesn't work and has been broken since the last beta.
Ugh.
So we have to have a Discord call in the back end or an actual phone call going to use party chat because the built-in party chat in the game doesn't work. On a game they released that they have said this isn't just a AAA game, it's a quadruple A game based off how much time and effort we've put into it. It's not. It's fun enough, and I think if it had launched at a lower price, more people would be interested in it. But I was reading some stats today on their subreddit that the game just launched like a week ago. They're also doing a free trial for people to try things out. When you combine the purchases and the free trials going on, it's less than 1.5 million players that have logged in. So we're not talking about a large player base on a game they've been developing for 10 years that they want to toss battle passes on and cosmetics and things like that to monetize long run. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out Ubisoft invested 10 years worth of time and effort into this game, and probably a year from now they'll be talking about, well, we're going to stop producing new content for it, and we'll just let it run its course until it's not profitable for us to have servers up, a la what we've seen with EA and Anthem. And I'm honestly surprised the Anthem servers still run. Side note.
It's awesome.
I wonder if it's still Christmas season on there too, because I remember the last time I had gone on there, it was like Christmas in March.
Yeah, I think at one point, I think it had been Christmas for like 8 months at one point. I haven't logged back in since it. I don't know if they've ever actually turned off what was the holiday event, like overlay and stuff.
Yeah,
they may have just said, hey, it's always Christmas in Anthem now because, well, fuck it.
I can't imagine they have a large player base. I imagine it helped when they put it on Game Pass via the EA Play thing, and I think it might be on Sony's version of Game Pass too. I'm not 100% sure, but
couldn't tell you.
At this point, the game is so old that it's not going to get a second life, and I had to unsubscribe from the Anthem subreddit because all it just turned into was a bunch of people all the time like, this game has real potential. When's EA going to bring it back? And everyone had to be like, they're not.
Never.
They're not. BioWare has moved on to other things, and the people that did the game have left.
I think it may chart as my number one game disappointment of my lifetime, of a game I was super hyped for, really enjoyed what was there, and then was more let down than anything. Everyone's like, oh wait, I'm 3 hours in and I finished the story. How the fuck did that happen?
Boy, you were never excited for Superman 64, were you? Because I was.
No, I always knew they would never get a Superman game right, and they still haven't.
Yeah.
No, you can't get the flying right on Superman.
Let's just use Anthem's flying mechanic and they'll get you close.
It's better than most flying mechanics in most games I've been in.
Other things I've been getting into, I read yesterday Ultimate Spider-Man #2 from Hickman's run. I like where they're going with it. I find the
variant
book
cover with Miles and crew.
Yes, there's a variant 3 versions that are like all the different Spider-Man iterations, 616, Ultimate, and New Ultimate, I guess, that you can put
which
side
one's
by side.
616? Because that's
the regular
MCU.
Spider-Man. No,
that's the MCU 616.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
616 is the comics. It has been for many, many years.
Yep. That's just what you movie people think that don't read comics.
Who's you movie people?
You, Willie.
Why am I one of the movie people?
Because
making
by
fun of it.
comparison, you're the comic reader, or you're the movie watcher, not the comic reader of the group.
Fair enough. Sure. Why not?
Just
Put
embrace the
derogatory
role.
terms in my face.
That being said, I'm liking where they're going with Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a Hickman book, so it's slow burn and very wordy so far. But they're setting up some interesting dynamics, and I especially like the fact that who I thought would be the first to learn that Peter is Spider-Man is not who I thought it was going to be. Or excuse me, who it ended up being is not who I thought it was going to be.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I like where they're going with it, and I like where we're potentially getting the inspiration for him adopting the traditional suit and stuff like that. I think it's cute.
In the promo ads, I was like, I was kind of hoping for like an update on the suit. Nothing big, just
but
it's Ultimate Spider-Man. Give me a version of it. Give me a new version of the suit.
How do you make
try
perfection
something.
better?
It's true. I mean, Ditko killed everybody. Like he sent everybody home. Nobody can beat it because no one's been able to beat it yet. But I don't know. I was kind of just hoping that. I mean, I like the artist on Ultimate Spider-Man, the new one. I just want to see him take a shot at it.
I mean, the thing is, with the suit he has, it seems like it can change into any appearance. So anything is fair game. We could see adaptations. I will say the closest they've gotten to the Ditko suits, the original Ditko suit's greatness, is Ben Reilly's suit when he was Spider-Man. The suit that he had was pretty badass too.
The one with the wrist shooters on the outside?
Yeah, the one with the wrist shooters on the outside and had like the giant spider on the front, and they kind of moved the web pattern up the shoulders and stuff too. The only thing that was weird was like the half web boots.
Yeah,
Well,
I think he had them on. I think he had them the gloves too. Like 2 fingers were webbed and 2 fingers were blue.
Yeah, the web shooter ones were blue, and then these ones were webbed. I thought it was an interesting dynamic, and that's the closest I think they've come to coming up with something that's as good as that original suit. But seriously, the original Spider-Man suit's near perfect. You can't change it and make it better. Everyone that's tried has realized, oh shit, we fucked this up. Time to roll it back.
Yeah.
The closest they got was the black suit, which is so widely different that.
Yeah, see, and I like Kane's version of the black suit. That's my favorite. That's not a Peter Parker suit. Is the Kane Scarlet Spider suit because it's just a red bodysuit with a black top. Like
okay, that's fair too.
It's basic and clean, and it's not a bunch of random bits and stuff.
Yeah. So Ultimate Spider-Man #2 is out right now. #1 sold like gangbusters at all the local comic shops. I don't imagine #2 is going to sell as much because I doubt we're going to have as many speculators buying to just try and flip. But it's totally worth picking up.
Because one did go to second printing already.
Yeah. I mean, and they were gone fast just because of the hype on it. And I don't know, when it comes to Spider-Man fans, there's for years kind of been a distaste for how the character's being handled in the main line. I think there's a lot of fans that had sort of fallen off of mainline Spider-Man that are jumping to this because it's giving them kind of what they want of a Peter Parker that, can grow up and be an adult and not just get stuck as a 20-year-old failure in everything he does.
Yeah, which is a cool concept because I love it. It's kind of the opposite of what it did with the original Ultimate Spider-Man, which was let's take him all the way back to 14, give him the powers in 2004. And what does that kid do? He runs next door and tells Mary Jane, I have superpowers.
And the twist with this one is we have a Peter who gets to choose to accept the power and the responsibility that comes with it. Like,
yeah, I want to see what Hickman's going to do with that because Hickman's going to fuck with that because Spider-Man is all about the responsibility, the guilt. Well, this Peter never had the guilt. He wasn't Spider-Man for the last 20 years.
Yeah. This is a grown adult Peter that has chosen to be Spider-Man. And I think by the time issue 2 wraps, he's been Spider-Man for like a month or something like that.
Yeah. Hickman's going to hit him with a Madam Web that shows him everybody he didn't save in the last 20 years. Bam! Parker guilt.
But the thing is, that's not his fault, though, because the spider...
Peter. Yeah. He'll still feel guilty about it, whether it's his fault or not. It's what he does.
Maybe. I don't know. The way this character is, this character may not, because remember, the spider was taken from him, and then he was given the choice as to whether he wanted to be bit and accept that power and the responsibility associated with it.
The maker, you prick.
He's delightful.
You silly putty prick.
Yes.
He is. He's delightful, but he's also a silly putty prick.
Fair enough. Well, that's what I've been getting into. Mr. Willie Nelson, what you been getting into, sir?
Oh, me. As of yesterday, I had just beaten Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. At least the final part of the story, the main story. Now it's the in-game content that we're running into and having all sorts of fun with. A whole new dungeons opened up and going through it. But other than that, I've also started watching Tacoma FD. Got in a few of the episodes in. I think like 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. Some of those episodes. Other than that, not a whole lot because there's been a lot of Like a Dragon.
I assumed.
But I also wanted to continue what I started with last time, a top 5 music thing, because why not? With the top 5 songs I've been listening to. So let's go with number 5 is the "Can't Hurry Love" by the Supremes. Number 4 is "Old Number 7" by The Devil Makes 3. That's a whole lot of numbers in there. Number 3 is "Cascade" by Dreamer's Delight. Number 2 is "Hold On" by the Alabama Shakes. And number 1 is "I'm Your Boogeyman" by KC and Sunshine Band. Because why not? It's all been enjoyable.
Nice.
That's pretty much all.
KC and the Sunshine Band. That's good
I'll
stuff.
allow it.
I hope so. You're gonna be sneaking in there with you, be a boogeyman. You know what I mean?
I need to watch it. I hadn't seen it yet, but I guess there was a video interview that was done with Kenny Omega about Like a Dragon, and since he's in the game, I'm kind of intrigued to see. Or he was the last one he was in, I guess. Like a Dragon games are some of his favorite or something like that. I can't remember the exact context of it, but I want to see it because I like Kenny Omega, so I need to go watch it.
It was in the last spinoff one, the Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
It's a long title.
It is a whole title. But here
It is
we are.
indeed. Well, why don't you wrap things up for us then, Bachman? What you been getting into?
So yeah, had only picked up. Went to pick up my my monthly comics now, and the list has been cut down quite a bit. So yeah, so I've got the Ultimate Spider-Man 2. Yeah, and they grabbed me the Miles Family Variant Edition, and then Miles Morales himself, the Miles Morales Spider-Man for the Gang War issue. Him and his crew taking on the 17th Hobgoblin. I don't know what the hell it is. But yeah, that was a fun issue. And then, yeah, weirdly, the Amazing Spider-Man is one of the ones they've been doing a lot of the variants on. So this one is the What If Mickey and Friends were the original X-Men. So you've got, like, they've been doing all sorts of, like, old Marvel covers with the Disney characters. And the weird thing is there's nothing on this cover to tell you that this is Amazing Spider-Man number 43.
I don't like that.
It's just so weird. So you literally have to take it out and look at the back. And on the back, it tells you what comic you're buying. Yeah, I've never seen variants where they literally don't tell you what the actual comic book is. So that part's kind of strange.
I don't like it.
I did like the way the Mickey and Friends, they did the X-Men number 1 cover, like the Jim Lee classic. So, I mean, it was cool to see this one. It's cute. They also did, I think, the Fantastic Four cover. But yeah, the X-Men, the classic 8 or classic 90s Jim Lee X-Men cover was pretty cool with Mickey and Friends. But yeah, I don't like the fact that it's a variant cover that I have to put in the sleeve backwards so I know which book it is. Like, that's just weird. But yeah, I'm down to only 3 books a month now. It's very strange because, yeah, Firepower just ended. Robert Kirkman ended another great story that is the first book of his that I own all digitally. I started getting that digital when they released, like, they called it the original trade paperback. It was like the first issue and a half in a $5 digital format. And you could get that when they launched him and Chris Samnee's Firepower. And they just released issue 30 this week. I just finished reading issue 29 the other night, so I've got issue 30 to read. It's the end of it. And apparently it's on to possibly, like, where there may be, like, they may do a spin-off Firepower 2 later. But it is, like, you know, an actual Kirkman start, middle, end. You got a whole story if you want. Here's the collected 30 issues of Firepower. And it's a really cool, like, if you have any interest in martial arts at all, it's a really cool book. Though, weirdly, also, Kirkman released the first volume of Void Rivals this month. And I found it kind of shitty that it was announced, here's the first trade paperback. I've been waiting to pick it up in trade digitally because I didn't pick up the issues. I was like, oh, hopefully like the digital trade will come out. It'll be like 10, 15 bucks, whatever. I'll just pick that up. So the trade's available for sale. You can order it on previews. You can order it on Amazon. But the company that bought Comixology does not have a digital version of Void Rivals Trade Paperback 1 available for sale in the place where I have to read my Comixology stuff now, in the fucking Kindle shop. So
I mean, they're
fuck
killing the
Amazon.
Comixology app at some point.
They're if you go to the app, the Comixology app doesn't open anymore. It just forwards you to Kindle. So you already have to read all your comics in Kindle, and they took the Comixology app, they bought it, squashed it, and ruined it. And yeah, whoever created Comixology, I hope that guy got paid really well, because he let a company come in and just ruin what he had made. It's awful. But yeah, I was like, oh, I can't even buy this digitally on day one in the app where I have to buy my comics now because you guys bought Comixology. You fucking suck, Amazon.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. But so instead of reading a bunch of comics, I've been using my iPad to play the Invincible Guardian the Globe Idol Smasher game, because this is what iPads are for, people. Little games that you collect loot after you watch people beat up other people. And it's Invincible, so it's super bloody. And it's just fun. It's a dumb little waste of time game. You let it sit for 12 hours, you log back in, you click the little button to collect all your loot, you level up your guys, you do it again. Rinse, repeat until you die. It'll never really change. They'll probably add some more characters at some point. I was excited to see, though, I signed up for the announcements on Skybound when it came out, because it is a free-to-play game. And, of course, you have the shop. You can buy energy. You can buy currency. You can buy characters. You can buy whatever. I have not spent any money on it. And I've unlocked, let's see, of the 30 characters you start with, I've got 21 of them. So I've unlocked 21 characters out of the 30 that are available on day one, and I haven't spent a dime on it. So it's one of those ones you can play and not spend any money, and you'll just slowly progress, but you'll progress just like everybody else. Just takes a little time. So it gives me something to do on my tablet besides Warhammer Tacticus, which is what I've been spending most of my time on my tablet doing. And then I finished off the Warhammer Mini for the month, which I think, did I remember to bring up a photo of it?
I got you covered. It's on Instagram, right?
It is on Instagram. So yeah, I had to put up. I did. It was a Age of Sigmar Crypt Guard. Oh yeah, I did the little fog effect on the video. So yeah, went and did that guy. And this one, last month, I went overboard, crazy on that Minotaur, all his patches and his armor, and I did all sorts of glazing and all these different layers and stuff. I worked on that dude for 2 weeks. Once I got this guy put together and made the base and painted it, it was less than 3 days worth of work. Took it down to the store, dropped it off for the contest. Ended up finding out at the end of last month, my Minotaur got 4 votes by people that came in the store and voted for it. The winning mini had 7. So I didn't do bad.
You're in striking range.
Exactly. So not too sad about it. It was fun. I had fun doing it. I had even more fun making this guy. So it's something I'm going to be looking forward to each month, that I can pick up the free mini when they come out, bring it back in a week or so and put it up in the case. And it was nice to see this time there was a bit more, with people having seen the first contest, a bunch more people applied this time or, entered. And so when I dropped my mini off yesterday, it was number 13, where last time there was 7 total, I think, at the end of the competition. And this time when I was dropping it off, there was already 12 in the case. And It was really cool to see that 5 or 6 of them had little kids had written their name on the base. And so, you could tell they were painted by children, 8 to 10.
Start them young.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's people bringing their kids in, getting them a free mini, and then having them paint it and turn it in for a contest. Freaking awesome. And, yeah, it doesn't cost nothing. They get to participate. Hopefully at least their parents vote for them, so they get a vote or two. But, yeah, it was just been fun doing that. And then, yeah, you can see behind me, I redid the pile of potential. This is now all the primed pile of potential. So everything on these shelves is a miniature that's been built and primed and is ready to paint, which I bought the Space Marine board game. And so up there is my 12 figures of my Orc Kill Team, and now 22 Tyranids from that Space Marine board game and 1 Space Marine. So, yeah, I've already built more figures this year than I did all of last year from January to December. So I'm well on my way to building and painting more figures this year than I did last year, which was is really my only goal. I built total 37 last year and painted like 25. I want to build and paint 40 this year is my goal. And yeah, I've already built way more than that. So I just need to start painting more of them. But doing the free mini of the month right there, I'll get 12 done. So I've been enjoying that. That's been fun. And then, yeah, I haven't been watching much on TV, watched a couple random movies, nothing spectacular, nothing really awesome. Like we seem to be hitting kind of that drought a little bit. Like we looked at going to the movies this week and like looked at Fandango and like there's nothing really seemed like it was worth going to the theater for. As I think we're really feeling like the end of like everything that was in pre-production before the strike. And now we're getting that dull or that lull that we're going to have before all the stuff that wasn't able to start until after the strike. It's like everybody's out of all the movies they had on the shelf. Everybody has used them all up. All the companies that had them waiting were just, there's like not much of anything coming out.
Nope. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, finishing Justified on Hulu before that streaming app gets turned off because I'm using it through an ex-roommate's app. So, I'm using somebody else's streaming service. But yeah, that one's going to go away. So I'm trying to finish season 3 on that. Oh, I did start. I started the House of the Ninja on Netflix just because it was kind of an interesting looking show. Yeah, 2 episodes in, it's pretty cool. It's a weird concept where you have like a family of ninjas. So like literally grandma, mom, dad, the 2 older brothers, and the middle sister are all ninjas. And at some point in the past, like they, rescued and saved the kidnapped like governor of Japan or whatever. And then they all retire and they have another little kid. So you have this little like 6-year-old running around the house and they live in this giant compound and like they've all stopped being ninjas, but like they also have their ninja abilities. So like, mom goes to fix something on the house and like randomly jumps like 12 feet in the air and lands on the roof. But like they hide all of this from the little kid. So it's weird because he's the only one that doesn't know everybody in the house is a ninja. And one of the real fun scenes is he sees grandma like sitting there, like out feeding the birds or whatever. His mom says, tell grandma like breakfast is ready. And the kid says, grandma, breakfast is ready. And he goes and walks around, the corner of the house, walks into the kitchen and grandma's sitting there eating. And he's like, wait, what? It's like, what? So grandma's like 80, but apparently moves like lightning when you're not looking at her. She's a straight up ninja. So it's got some weird concepts. It's an entertaining show so far. It's only, I think, 8 episodes and I'm 2 episodes in. So I've been enjoying that. Like I'll definitely finish it for sure. And then, I'm chapter 17 out of 22 on Uncharted 4. So I'm damn close. Found out my brother's a piece of shit and lied to me. Punk ass Sam. And so, I think I finished it's the last sequence where you flash back to them as kids. So I just finished that part of it. So I'm real close to the end on that. And then, for her birthday, the kid bought herself Baldur's Gate on her PS5. Or Baldur's Gate 3. So I watched her make a character the other night, which was really cool. And I can see how like this is one of those ones where you could easily spend like 6 hours just fine-tuning little things on your character before you even start playing the damn game. So I get to play that now. So I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to actually make myself. I didn't realize you could do Dragonborn on there. And so as like a big D&D geek from, back in my junior high days, I think I'm going to try to see if I can do a Dragonborn monk, because the idea of a guy that looks like a dragon that runs up and just punches you, I just think is fun. So that'll be cool. See if I can make me, a Buddhist monk dragon that just beats the hell out of people with his bare hands. But yeah, that game is pretty as hell. I'm looking forward to put some hours in that. But then, Mass Effect is on the list. So that's the next franchise I'm starting. As soon as I finish Uncharted, doing some Mass Effect. And I downloaded, what was the other one? Darkriders 3. That was one of the free PlayStation ones I've had sitting there for a while. I really like part 2, but I never played the third one. I can't remember back when, but like 2 years ago, PlayStation made that a free game. So I'll play that one at some point, see if I can actually finish it. But got Baldur's Gate 3 and I've got Mass Effect Legendary Edition to look forward to. So I'm still trying to hold steady, and I'm not planning on buying Amazing Spider-Man 2 till this like Christmas sale in November. So the game's not going to get worse. Like if anything, there'll just be more suits when I log in. So
New Game Plus next week or 2 weeks. I can't remember.
Yeah. All the bugs will be worked out, and it'll have like 50 extra suits when I log in and buy the game. So it'll be fantastic.
Woo!
It did well enough. I don't need to buy it early. But that's what I've been into.
Well, there you go. On that note, then, we are going to start shutting things down. A big thank you to everyone who did watch us live as we record this episode, but also thank you to anyone who is consuming it after the fact. Friendly reminder, we are streaming live on Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for the next few months over at GonnaGeek.com/live. Please do not use the geeks.live URL as it is being retired. Before we shut this thing down, you guys have any thoughts or things you wish to say to the people?
No, I'm good.
The new DVD killer looks really gross. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't play DVD, really so I'll have to go check it out. Well, on that note, then, thank you so much to everyone that joined us tonight, and we hope to see you all next week. Until then. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com.